back live.
Can I have some gems on it too?
Maybe.
Okay.
Man, if I ever
About
get
the
them,
box
I can't be
of
the big ones. We can get them Dollar Trees.
That's my
Did I ask you?
No, it was just a joke, my bad. Cause you talking about going to the Dollar Tree?
No, that wasn't a good joke.
Damn. What? They're not ugly.
Huh?
They ain't ugly.
That doesn't make this any better of a joke.
It's a whole lot of money.
It's like 80 grit.
Well, that's dusty, man. You gotta wipe that off.
Dusty. Everything dusty.
What?
Booty.
What?
I was looking in the mirror earlier, ma.
She was like, damn.
Mm-hmm. I'm glad mama ain't one of them ugly mamas.
Good.
Oh my god.
Cause I be seeing too many people with their kids. Their kids be fine, but their parents be ugly and unkept.
Oh no, you see those videos when it be like, the kids be looking so cute and the parents be looking like bust down hamburgers.
This is not what we're gonna do in my life.
Okay.
Okay. I wonder if they put all the kids into a playroom or something.
Hurt? It'll hurt you?
No. I wonder if what humans do is considered selective breeding.
What, you choose the person you want to live with?
Yeah. I mean, wouldn't that be considered selective breeding?
Wait, she's Hispanic?
Huh?
So, Belize is Hispanic, right?
Believe me. No.
Please don't start talking about people.
Okay.
Y'all gonna be quiet and one more irritation.
What does D-A-U-M spell?
Guam.
Where you get a W from?
You.
I said D-A-Y.
Sometimes
You leave. It popped you?
no, my forehead just been itchy for a minute. I was trying not to move, but I couldn't take it. Oh, it just registered in my mind.
What?
Just that 80 grit.
Yeah, why? Hurt you?
Nah, cause I saw a little like swirl of the nail come off. And I was like,
Yeah, it's just foul.
yeah. And then I was like, that reminds me of this, a gritty white one that I got. And then I looked over. It was like,
Man, she turned music up a little.
yeah.
They ain't gonna get any lower.
We have a rowdy house when people come over. Mama, your hair all in the camera.
Yeah. Okay. I'm curious.
I don't care how dad just been there yelling at his mother.
Be quiet. Why do you feel the need to speak? This is not the time. And I just said not to be talking about people. Trying to make these last the whole time, please?
Yeah.
Since these on different, they might actually stay. I don't know. Hopefully.
Yeah.
Just gotta be careful. But these are pretty strong tips too. It's got a nice good amount of strength.
Yeah, like I actually went in my room with these on.
That's your test, huh?
And touch stuff. They don't feel flimsy like the other ones either. You know? I'm glad you got these, Mom.
Yeah, me too. I was skeptical actually. Cause I was like, full coverage tips just gave me the feeling that I just recently got over about press-ons and how they was just how they just can't be cute. I just thought they couldn't be cute. Back in the day, like I'm a little old apparently, because back in the day, full coverage tips or the little store-bought tips was not it.
They still ain't it.
They have gotten so much better over the years, but I try not to mess with those. But there have been times where they have worked out. If you work them, if you have some tools to be able to modify them, because you'll probably not be able to fit at least one of the sizes, or at least one of your fingers won't be the best fit. But, you know, it's a battle.
Are you ready to get your freestyle on?
Yeah. In a second, I'm just gonna make sure these sizes this will be quick.
Oh, okay.
Guess where you picked up that phone,
Get that little piece off the tip. Just kind of perfect. Knock that little bit around this that could be there.
I wish this Lena wasn't like this.
Like what?
Pushing puppies down the stairs and jump. Apparently she can't even behave at the dog park.
Right, she was making niggas leave.
I wonder what happened.
I do know actually.
And last time she went, she's trying to play with everybody, whether they wanted to play with her or not. And now she just stay away.
I think it's because she's been in the house too long. And she's just overprotective. Can't like this.
There ain't nobody coming over here for that. They coming over here for you. Remember that one time we like biked 3 miles to this dog park?
It was like 5.
Really?
I think
You
so.
telling me I had to bike 5 miles front and back on a semi-flat tire?
It might have been 3. I don't remember if it was 3 or 5. It was definitely a good distance.
It was. My legs were burning that entire time.
Man.
Cause like it started going flat in the middle of the ride though. Like we had already long left the house before I noticed it. And then after that, it like the terrain was like, I'm gonna get you. Because then we had to start going up all these hills, and I'm like, oh, it was terrible. But it was better going back because I got to go down more than up.
Nice.
Yeah. I like riding standing up though, but only for so long because other than that it scares me. What if like over the years of like someone doing nails, they collected all the like nail particles here and then used that as acrylic?
That sounds disgusting.
Yeah. are the only creatures that sleep on their backs. But I think sleeping on your back is uncomfortable. You know, like, what I want to just lay like this for?
I don't know.
If I get somebody laying on their back, bro, I'm going to turn you over. That's just so uncomfortable. Like, what I want to just stare at the ceiling as I go to sleep for. Like, I personally like sleeping with my back towards the wall. Or personally, I don't know. It just gets. I guess it's just how I felt that day. Because sometimes I'll sleep facing the close wall, or another times I'll sleep facing the far wall. But usually I end up falling asleep facing the close wall. It just makes me feel safer, you know?
I'm gonna put it on your pinky.
Cool.
The rings.
Okay.
I like the pinky.
I like the ring finger.
That's just gonna get the most action. So I try to keep important stuff that's like chunky or like, you know, anything really off the main hand for one, or off the main fingers of the main hand. Like right hand, I would never put like gems, especially at the tip of these or the thumb curve, pretty much.
Yeah.
Because it's your dominant hand, you're gonna be doing everything with that. It's gonna be getting knocked.
Beat.
But I would put it on like the tip, maybe on your left hand, because it doesn't do it as much. Like when you reach for stuff, you don't usually, you know, because you're right-handed, you don't usually go for your left hand. So I put that.
Yeah. I usually use my left hand for like opening the door down there. Where you get this one?
This is the latest one I got.
Alright, let's get your freestyle on, ma. Say Logic 37.
Yeah.
Oh, do they all have a number or just that one? That is so dark.
Why did you call you chose? If you don't want that anymore?
Oh wait, well I do want it, but it just never ceases to amaze me how
Change it.
yes, how a little bit of moisture changed the whole thing.
Put a little bit of a clear layer on it just because most of them don't go down to the cuticle.
I seen a video and it was like, which one came first, the color orange or the orange? You know, which one do you think came first?
I don't want to piggyback off their conversation.
Just reminded me of that video.
It is so irritating. Talk about other stuff. So I don't have to. My life's gonna be. I ain't coming to your lives, girl. They be live. Two live crew.
Oh, sorry. What if somebody came to you and was like, and wanted their nails done as long as all three of these? Would you do it?
I don't know.
That would be a long nail. That would be dangerous. You no longer have nails on, you have weapons on.
What are we gonna do? Which one I said was gonna be gold? Or do you want one to be? So that's gonna be gold with what? Purple thingies?
Come on, but it's all on you. You freestyling this.
Okay.
I'm just here to get my nails done. What's that say?
Chingona.
Is this in Spanish? Her name just kind of give me like Spanish vibes. What did you say? color's a lot thinner than I thought it was. Huh?
Glitter. Clear.
Oh, I thought it was just shiny acrylic with glitter in it.
Oh, what?
I said I thought it was just shiny acrylic with glitter in it.
That's rude.
What?
I just think about what he just said.
I was thinking about it too.
Anything not normal.
I remember when I first learned that staring up at the sun can make you blind. And when we would drive, when we be on the freeway, when we lived at the old house, I just look up in the sun direction like. But not with just my eyes just open. Me like. What if we put gold flakes on it, Ma? I feel like that would look cute.
Put onto the pickles.
Onto this.
Gold flakes onto the gold. It could happen.
I'm sad. I be thinking about that book, Ma. I really wish I still had it.
What book?
The Seven Rays.
7 Rays.
Yeah, it's one of the books you bought me when we still living at the old house. I would love to read it again right now.
What happened to it?
The old house happened to it. And the story of Ella McKay. I couldn't bring none of it. Oh. But that's okay because one day,
That for sure.
I'm gonna get some money and then I'm gonna buy Jessica Sorensen books. Cause she the author of the story of Ella McKay. I'm surprised I still remember that. She the only author I remember. That's how you know that book was good, Ma. You know, I'm still not sure if I'm saying her name right.
Need to get that scante.
What's Scante?
That's the clear from the brand. From the S brand.
With the silver on it, it looks like compressed punch gold.
With the what?
Not the silver. With the clear on it, it looked like compressed punch, like gold foil, you know.
Yeah, it's nice. Let's see your other pinky.
I remember when I told my dad that whenever I see a city bus, it reminds me of him. He was just like, okay. I remember this one time, dad had dropped me and my dad off at some fancy bus stop before he went to pick you up from work or something like that. Yeah. Yeah. It also reminds me, I seen this video of this dad, of this person. he was a stepdad, and then he was complaining about how he was like, when your kids go over their other dad's house, but you can't do nothing because they're not your kids. And then a bunch of stepdads was in the comments like, yeah, that be hurting my feelings. Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, oh. In Discord, Amber talking, they got this truth or dare bot, and it was, when did you last shave and where was it on your body? Amber said, my finger. Kool-Aid talking about I shaved my big toe.
Who asked that?
The truth or dare bot.
Are those ran by people?
Huh?
Aren't those ran by people?
Yeah, Amber said something about how the bot takes like random questions other people have already asked or something like that. I wonder whose urine ate. Cause like everyone here has a drink of some sort as their name, but Eid, you know. Like mine is Southern peach lemonade. Amber's is apple juice. Someone else's Kool-Aid, urine aid, and so forth and so on. And a lot of times I wonder who these people actually are. That's a fancy top. Say excuse me. Yeah, I'm about to find a book to read. he's trying to. About oh, Wolf Moon. That's on Ink It now? That's crazy. Basically his arrogant CEO and ooh, that's cute. Well, I like it better going in this direction than this one.
No, if you can say that shit you want to, I just gave you the difference against that. You didn't want to hear it. No. Not that I know.
Like I should put a little. There's so much glitter in the rest of them. It would just be weird that I had known.
What'd you say? You said what nails?
Glitter nails.
How you know which was which?
Well, that one got a purple tint on it.
Oh. I've already read this book. That's irritating. When they recommend you junk you've already read. And like a lot of it wasn't up until recently where I started saving the books that I've read into my archive, and then I switched it from my archive to like a different reading list, because whenever I get a notification for a book, then it'll come out of my archive back into my main library, which was kind of irritating. And I was like, why don't I just share this with the people out there looking for books to read? And I just put it in different because my main library is private. And apparently a lot of people don't know that. Well, at least some people don't know that. Because this girl, she was writing on Harlow's Candle's conversation page, and then she said, "Look at my library, and you might find some books you're interested in." And then I was like, "Oh, your library is private." And she was like, "Oh," and then repeated the same thing, just something else. Like she called it a different name.
What are you talking about?
Books.
Yes, nigga, that's what I'm saying. Only have perspectives of color, you ain't never back up. You said all that goddamn time to go back to the book. No, nigga, that's what I'm saying. In this study, there are like significant rules. No, you tried to narrow it down to Navy, and then I told you that you see that word.
Okay, I might try this. I should have clicked on that earlier. Ma. So, I was at Auntie's house, right? And me and Sean, we was watching Vampire Night. Now, the only reason I put it on is because I didn't realize that Vampire Night had a season 2 called Guilty. And it had been a couple years now since I seen it, because I think that was the second anime that I had ever seen. And so I was like, let me just rewatch it, refresh my memory before I move on to season 2, right? And so watching it with Sean, and he'll talk every once in a while. And apparently, see, I didn't know this when I first watched it. Okay, so at the beginning of the show, Yuki, she's human, and we find out that the only reason she is human is because some bad vampires were after her family and wanted to kill her. So her mother used her life to lock away her powers so that she'll still be alive. And then when she came of age, or whenever her body was ready, then Kaname, which is her brother, would unlock her powers for her, right? Mm-hmm. So we did not know that Kaname was her brother until like the last 2 episodes, right? So that whole time, Yuki had been crushing on Kaname, and I was like, "Hey, go ahead, then." And then we find out that they're siblings, and then I was like, "Oh, okay." But Sean said that so Kaname and Yuki are the last pure blood vampires alive, right? And so apparently Kaname wants to produce children with his sister to keep the pure blood alive.
Sounds like the old English way.
Sounds like incest. And then after that, I had to stop watching it. I don't watch incest. I don't do incest. You know, and like I was really looking forward to watching season 2, but now that I know that, I can't just watch it. But after I learned that they were siblings, I was really hoping that her and Zero would get together, because they were my second ship. Because Zero's could be good for her. Like when he was a wee boy, I would say about 12 years old, maybe 10 to 12, somewhere around there. Some vampire came and massacred his family and then turned him. Now, he's a special case because most people do not survive the turning, but his small little bitty body did. And so the headmaster took him in, took care of her, took care of Yuki and him. Huh? Yeah, but so they grew up together, but they never quite considered each other siblings. Especially since Zero was kind of a butt, you know? But God, I wish I didn't know that.
What?
The incest. Because I want to watch season 2. And then like, what if Zero and Yuki get together? What if she ends up choosing Zero over Kaname? But now I will never know that. Maybe I could just ask somebody. Oh, apparently it's a manga too. Let me see if I can find it on one of the manga apps that I have. It's been weeks. What is going on? Like, everything else is updating but Totem Realm. And My Husband Hides His Beauty. Like, them the main two ones that I want to read. Because, like, I've already read. Oh wait. Oh wait, hold down. Never mind. I almost missed this update. Elysian Bride updated too. I thought I already read chapter 40, but I guess not. This is why I don't read ongoing stuff, Ma. But it was just too good to just not read. They're so pretty. Huh? I'm sorry, I still didn't hear you, Mom.
I said I didn't say anything.
Also, I rewatched Devil's Line while I was over there. Apparently Sean's seen it too. I also read the manga for that anime. It was so much better. And then I looked it up because I remember it when it first came out. I had been watching it from the very beginning, Mom. Like I found it and it was on like episode 1 or 2. And every week on like Sunday, a new episode came out. So every week on Sunday, I was watching it. And it's been years since the first time I watched it. And I looked it up. I was like, when is gonna get a season 2? Apparently it's not gonna get one because the anime is not popular enough to get a season 2. And so that's when I decided, and that's also when I learned that there was a manga for this, and that'd be my saving grace, Mom. Because I was just about to be sad that was all I got. Like, their parting was just horrible. Like, okay, so it ended because when it ended, what's his name? Anzai, he had some blood, and then he kind of went crazy because somebody was attacking Skasa, and then he shifted and tried attacking that person, but they had to put him down. But the police shot him after they told him not to, and he was about to die. And Skasa offered him some of his blood, and he ended up breaking her arm when he bit into it. Well, you should see how they teeth come out. And and then he took like a lot of blood, so she was hospitalized for a couple of days, and he was feeling guilty that whole time. And so when she woke up, she found out that the government or something like that said that they couldn't like be near each other anymore because Anzai lacked self-control or something like that. And so the last couple seconds of the episode, all you saw was Anzai walking away and Skasa looking at him as he walked away. You see how can you just feel how unfulfilled somebody must feel seeing that? And like there was a promise of him coming back, so because this ban on not being able to see each other wasn't permanent. And I want to know, like, what's it going to be like when you come back? But in the manga, you got to see that break of time. And you got to see them come back to each other. And then Anzai met his mother. But she didn't tell him that she was his mother. And then she went back to the facility where Anzai grew up. It was an orphanage called Onlo, and told his father about him, like how he's doing, you know. And that kind of hurt my heart a little, because he will never get to know all he know about his dad is that he's a mass murderer, and he doesn't know his mom at all, and she wasn't allowed to keep him. And the thing was, like, Anzai's dad didn't choose to be a mass murderer, you know? What had happened was, he was building. He was studying architecture, and he was gonna build him and his girlfriend at the time, soon to be wife, a house where they could grow old together and raise their children or whatever, right? But she killed herself because some people, like a gang of guys, gang raped her. And then he found out. He was hella upset. And then he went after him and killed him. And it was like four guys. But since he's a devil and can't quite control himself, because he wasn't trained that way, he didn't grow up that way. Once he saw the blood, he kind of went on a bloodlust rage and killed like 10 other bystanders. And so he was supposed to get the death sentence, but they decided to put him in an onlo where they basically studied his behaviors and whatnot. And then that's when he fell in love with Anzai's mother. And then through artificial insemination, she had Anzai. But they took Anzai away because he's half devil and she's human. And plus having a kid almost killed her. Or no. So what happened was, they didn't want to use his mother. Well, it's not really his mother either. His actual mother is dead. So he met his mom. Okay, so I'm confusing the Anzai. I mean the anime with the manga. In the anime, he met who at the time we all thought was his mother, but she didn't tell him that she was his mother. So he just met a random lady. In his perspective, right? But in the manga, we find out that the lady who we thought was his mother was going to be his mother. But what happened was they didn't want to use her because this was still in the testing stages. And since she was one of the people who worked there and one of their best workers, they opted to use someone else. So they put up a sign for like volunteers saying that you'll get paid heavily for this. but it is dangerous. And his real mother decided to do it. And then she had him, and then they took him away. She got paid, and she already had some kids at this time. So she went and took care of her kids, paid for their college and whatnot. And then she later on died of natural causes. Like, or would dying of cancer be considered like natural causes? Okay, well, she died of cancer. And then he got to go to her grave and talk to her in the manga. Oh no, I know, it's just stuffy. Also, I feel kind of bad for Anza's dad because he's kind of stuck in a permanent transformation. So his teeth are just forever up here and like clawed, and his lips are forever, you know? Well, they're just forever uncomfortable looking. He's probably going used to it now because it's been like that so long. It's been like that years. But they've been giving. So the average lifespan for a devil was 39 years. If you weren't killed before then. Because, humans being humans decided that since they were different, they had to go. And so, but if you develop, if you constantly drink blood, which will lead to you gaining a blood tolerance, then you'll live longer. Which is why Skasa tried to convince Anzai to drink her blood. Because they started dating, and of course she wanted her boyfriend to live as long as he possibly could. But Anzai didn't believe her because he had never seen no science to back that up. But I think the fact that another half devil came and told you this was enough science, you know? I didn't hear you.
I see you.
His name was Hans Lee, by the way. I think he was German, of German descent. But yeah, I really enjoyed that. I think I've seen that anime at least 4 times. But my favorite episode was episode 8. So the CCC, which is the Chosen Civil something. Anyway, basically, Skasa described them as a bunch of murderers who think they're chosen. Because what they do is they snuff out devils and they kill them. That's what happened to Anzai. One of the snipers almost had him. But he had moved out the way just enough to where he'd only got hit in the shoulder. And then she shot at him again, but this time Skasa jumped in the way, and then she got a cut on her face, which was pretty deep. It ended up leaving a scar. And then he saw her blood and went on a blood rage, half because Skasa got hurt and half because he saw blood, and then tried to kill the lady. But then he got shot in the lungs, and then he's kind of dying. But then that's when Hans Lee showed up and gave him that 200 milliliters of human blood, which is enough to heal organs. And then he went even more crazy because his body isn't used to drinking blood. And then he almost kills Casa. But that's only because her foolish self went and jumped in. She was being the main character. Like, she is the main character, but there's a difference of being the main character and then being the main character. She's being the main character at that point, thinking that, you know, since it's her, she could just calm him down. But no. Girl, all you are is another obstacle in his way, and he will chop you down. But luckily, Hans Lee kind of crushed him on the ground before he could reach her. And then, like, Ansai was all upset once he came to his senses. He was like, I almost killed my girlfriend. And then he didn't want to see her anymore. And then that's when Skasa realized that she was being selfish, only thinking about herself. Also, apparently a devil's body temperature is only around 80 degrees. It's pretty cold, man.
You live somewhere it's always fire. You probably don't need to be that wrong.
It's not because it always lived in fire. That's just how devil's bodies were, you know? Or like how in stories, vampires are described to be ultra pale and super cold. I think what really made Anzai start liking Skasa was when she invited him into her home and offered him food. It's cute.
Is it?
Yeah. What'd you say?
So I know how you be. Tippy tip on it. It's like
Also, while we was at Auntie house, Sean had put on, what's it called? Food Wars or something like that. Episode 1 made me so uncomfortable.
Why?
Well, have you seen it? Like this girl, she was all, I'm so hard, I'm gonna shut down your restaurant. And so he was like, all right then, don't make any opinions until you've tried my food. And then she tries the food, and then she just moans like as if she's having full out intercourse. Yes, mother.
Why did you even watch that?
It's not that I wanted to watch it. It's that Sean had the TV and then put that on, and then I looked at it.
For children.
Huh?
It's not for children.
I see.
I hate that. Why even do that to cartoons?
Like arrogant CEO like tribes are so overused. You know?
What's overused?
Arrogant CEO. Like tropes, not tribes. Tropes. You know? Like they all the same though. Like at first we'll have some arrogant all the girls love me. I've never had to say please and thank you or apologize in my life because I'm so this and I'm just so great that all the girls just swoon to be with me or whatever. And then you have this one headstrong character who doesn't know who you are, and it's like, you need to have basic human manners. And then he's like, I'm intrigued. And then basically forces himself into her life, and she ends up falling in love, and boom. And that's like every book, though. It's just so overused. But like they even tried to switch it up by making him the prince. Where he was the prince of some country, and he came into this lady's bakery and was antique shop. That's what it was. Not a bakery. Or was it a bakery? No, it was an antique shop. And he came in there being rude, and she was like, hey, if you're gonna be rude, you need to get out of my shop. And then he was being rude some more, and then she got irritated and started being more of a put you in your place kind of rude. Not like rude, you know? And he was all like, do you know who I am? And he was like, no, and she was like, no, I don't care. I wouldn't even care if you were the prince of da-da-da-da. And I would still be saying all this. Turns out he's the prince of da-da-da-da. And she still said it all. And then when she she went to the country that he was prince of on some vacation. And she got tricked. Because what happened, she paid for a nice little apartment that she could stay in while she was there. But when she got there, it was a shabby, beat down looking one. And then she's all like, what is this? And she was like, oh well, the nice ones are taken up, so we got you this. And she was all like, so y'all false advertising? She was like, man, you give it to kids. She was like, I want my money back. And she was like, okay. But then she ain't had no place to stay. She was sitting on this bench outside of the store. And then he rolled up, offered her a job. She didn't know that it was him, but she took the job because it paid well and gave her residence. What'd you say?
I was trying to grab that bean and it would not let me grab it.
But yeah, it turns out it was him. And then so when she first started, she ran into him. She was like, you. And then he was like, you. And then she said a bunch of more rude stuff. Because he was being all arrogant, talking about, well, you said you wouldn't care. She was like, yeah, I still don't care. And then insulted him some more. But that book kind of got on my nerves. Because in the castle, he was like the most handsome man to ever exist. And so all the girls who worked there or whatever were like all over him. And so all the guys who worked there was like, yeah, we stand no chance. And so when she came and the rumor spread that she didn't like the prince, like every guy there was like, pick me, choose me. But she liked the butler.
Sorry, buddies.
But then he got upset at her for some stupid little reason. Because he was a jealous little boy, Mom.
Butler?
Huh?
Butler?
Yeah. Now when you think butler, you would think some old guy in a suit with the split tails, right? But no, he was actually pretty young. So what happened was, his father worked as the butler before him, but he retired, and so he took up the job. It's crap. On Pocket Comics, they have it to where you could either pay for an episode using coins, which costed money, or tickets, which costed time, or you could just wait for it to come out for free, which takes a lot of time, more time than it takes to get tickets. You can only get a ticket every 24 hours. But it can take months for an episode to come out for free. Unless there's a sale going on where for a limited amount of time it's free. But I had Pocket Comics twice, I think. And then I couldn't remember why I deleted the first time, so I got it back and I was reading books. Comics. And I realized something, like, why did I delete this? And then I looked through it and then I remembered why I deleted it. And it was because after so long, you can't use tickets anymore to unlock the episodes. You have to use coins. And unfortunately for whoever decided for that to happen, I am not willing and do not have the money to just be spending to read your episodes. first time buy, you can get quite the many coins for a lesser price. But after that, then it's just, you about to pay for this full out. And I didn't want to do that. So I decided to save myself the pain of reading up so far and then not being able to do it anymore and just deleted it. But there was some good comics on there, Ma. Like there was one where the main character, she, you know, everything started out in Korea. I feel like that's like every comic I read now. And so she died in her real life, and then like resurrected. Would that be the word for this? Oh, reincarnated. That's it. Into the main female character of the last book she had read before she died. And that happened. But instead of being her grown-up self, she ended up being her kid self. And this is the part of the story where they made it seem like, that is actually what happened. So in the story, this little boy, he grew up with a curse that covered like half his face, and as he grew up, would cover more of his body until they encased this whole thing and killed him. And so because he had that curse on, he was considered ugly. I personally found that the curse markings very attractive. But this was back in the olden days where if you had even the slightest bit of bumps, you were considered ugly.
Tips is brat.
But yeah. And so he was in love with the female lead's sister, but she chose the other dude who was pretty and got married to him, and then he went into this deep depression. And then since the two sisters were twins, they sent him the other girl, but he knew the difference. But she killed him. But in the book, she had killed herself as soon as she saw him, because she didn't want to be tied down to a monster or whatever her reasoning was. But she reincarnated at that moment in time where they had pulled her out of the river, and she should have been dead, but since she reincarnated and gave the body a new soul, she's alive. And so she went and convinced the little boy, because they were children at the time, that's not the reason why she jumped into the river. What happened was she tripped and fell, and she couldn't swim. So she made this whole elaborate lie to fix the past owner of this body's mistakes, because that was obviously a mistake. I forgot what I was telling you about this story, but it's a good one. But it was on Pocket Comics, which is the only downside to this because I couldn't read it. But past me, smart, ma. Because before the first time I deleted it, I didn't want to have to wait for tickets, so I could read an episode per day. And it wasn't even like the thing reloaded at like 12 o'clock every day. It was like I had to wait down to the second that I collected the last ticket to get the next one. So if I collected that boy at 11:30 at night, I'm not gonna get another one till 11:30 at night the next day. But So I figured that out, and then I just decided to stop reading altogether on Pocket Comics and just sign in every day, get my ticket. And I ended up getting about 30-something tickets before I deleted it. And then I forgot why I deleted it and got it back. And then I had forgot to sign in, so I was starting at 0 again. And then I remember that I already had an account previously, and so I got all my tickets back. So I had borderline 40 tickets. That's borderline 40 days, Mom. I'm not reading a single comment off that app to get them tickets, Mom. You know how much patience that's gotta take? Talking about I have no patience. I have great patience. But to be fair, I had other stuff to read. And you just be telling me I need to get my patience up. That his name is Kyle. Kyle. You know? Kyle. And then the meme and then the line just goes perfectly with it. But him and Malia are dating. I didn't find that out until recently.
Who's Angel talking to?
Say who's Angel talking to? I don't know. She's probably on that computer upstairs playing Roblox. So she might be rage playing. Huh?
Tres leches.
You got what?
Some cake from the honeybee market.
That reminded me of this, at this one time when Grandma took me and Angel to the church, and they was having this little like celebration or something, and so they was giving out stuff like fruit, and we just got lucky enough to snag up some bumpy cake. I think it was like caramel bumpy cake. I can't remember what it was, but it was delicious, Mom. I haven't forgotten about it. It's been a couple years now. It was absolutely delicious.
Okay.
Who are you upstairs talking to?
Auntie Nana? Wait, what? I meant Nana.
Before anybody even went up there, you was up there yelling and stuff.
I was on Roblox.
Did I say you can get on my computer?
Yeah.
Go clean your room up.
Okay.
So, you didn't say.
What'd you say?
Alright, we have a lead. Acrylic. So interesting. That go now, so go.
Excuse me.
Bless you.
Okay.
Space.
I think it was this one. That 80s grid.
Don't play.
You know, I always see a lot of books where like, you know, a lot of werewolf books, like the alpha is male, and if it's an omega, then it's usually female, and that kind of gets on my nerves. Cause why the inferior one always got to be the female? You know? But if you try finding some books where the alpha is female and the omega is male, then they're more than likely butt. And that's probably because a lot of straight women write these books, so they end up being male. in the one book where it wasn't, but it was just irritating, where she wanted to be alpha to prove to everybody that she can be just as strong. Because what happened was, when she was born, everybody was like mildly disappointed that she wasn't a boy. And so, you know, she kind of developed this anger towards people from there. And when her big brother was training and stuff, she would mess with him just to anger him. And then one day, he was going through his shift, and she was messing with him, and he broke her back.
That's great.
And then left her there in the forest. And even through her wailing and screaming, her parents came to check on her, but also left her there. And so that solidified her anger towards everybody. She'd been training and training and training to become alpha because her brother became unstable and ran away. Turned rogue. But since her brother broke her back the way he did, and then her parents left her, she kind of had like slight scoliosis. And the doctors have been giving her medicine for it, because if she didn't take the medicine, the pain would come back. But she was like, oh, I'm Tuffy McTuffy, and didn't take the medicine, and then she was in pain and couldn't stand. But eventually she found her mate, because she went to train with the wolves. That's what they call it. It's a group of people who stay in their wolf form, as far as everyone on the outside knows, and they're the most efficient group, the strongest group that everyone on the outside knows about. So, but to train with the wolves, they have to find you. You can't find them, because they look like every other wolf, since they stay in their wolf forms. So they eventually found her, took her in, trained her for a couple months. One of the parents' son ended up being her mate, but he would be what the packs considered an omega because of his temperament. You know? He was meek, quiet, weak. So by the end of the book, she became the alpha of her very own pack that she formed on her very own. Where basically all the people that the packs didn't want because of their deformities or something came to her pack. But it was also irritating because towards the like middle end of the book, she was pregnant, but one of the guys had like somebody from another pack had challenged her for the title of alpha. Now she could have been like no and kept her title, but she was like, I have to prove to everybody that I can do it, knowing full well that she was pregnant. And lost her baby, killed the other guy, and then her mate was very upset with her because you've killed y'all's baby, all because you couldn't just sit down. And at first she tried to get mad at him because he was upset with her, and she got mad at him because he was upset. But then later on, the gravity of the situation of what you just did kind of set into her, and so she kind of backed off. And then that's when the guy who had challenged her little brother came in and challenged her, but she refused to fight a kid because he was no older than 12 years old. And so she told him that he could train in her pack, and when he got older, he could challenge her. And so they've been doing that. Mainly, I think one of her reasons for being as angry as she was is that she didn't want to accept that she was different. You know? But that book was good. There was another book though, where like she was just mean to them. Like, she was the alpha, and basically she hated all Omegas because when she was a little girl, no older than 16, this Omega, who should not have been dating her, was dating her, and because she knew her parents wouldn't approve, she would sneak out to see him and buy him expensive gifts and give him money and stuff like that. Later he admitted to using her for her money, and then she got upset and was like, oh, I hate all Omegas. And it's funny because her mates ended up being Omegas, and then she was just mean to them, horrible to them, mama. Like, she made them like go places with her, and she went as far as going on a whole date with another guy in front of them. Like, she made them come with her to go on this date with another guy. And so they left her. That was like the final straw. So they left her. And then for like 4 years though. And over those years, her body got all weak because she had already established a connection with her mates, because with wolves, before they actually mark each other, their wolves will connect. And since their wolves are part of them, their emotions and like mental state and physical state reflects off the human. So since her and her mates wolves had already, built a connection, with them leaving her and being so far apart for so long, her wolf grew weak, and in turn she grew weak, and that could have ended up killing her. It would have killed her, but they came back. And over the couple of months, she eventually grew better and treated them better. Exactly. Like, girl, you have one Omega. One treats you bad in the past. All of a sudden, all of them are horrible. Like, she'd even go as far as, like, firing some of her employees just because they were Omega. Not even because their performance were bad. Simply to embarrass them. And then, like, one guy who she had just recently fired before she met her mates, like, earlier in that day, she had fired him. And he was like, no, please don't fire me. I need this job so I can feed my family. And he was like, I don't care. You're fired. And then, after a while of being with her mates, they were trying to teach her the value of a person instead of their rank. And she hired him back and even gave him a rather high position. Like, what is it, like assistant CEO or something like that? But I think those are the only two like good books that I can think of where the alpha was female. Because the last one I tried reading, like she had the right idea, but it just wasn't her time, you know? She went about it in a really ghetto way. One thing that really irritated me is that, so in this story, in the werewolf community, it was illegal. You could not have a boyfriend until you were 18, and then you can choose who your lifelong partner will be, because it is not guaranteed that you will find your mate. So, yeah, when she turned 18, she's now 25. When she turned 18, she got the position of alpha, and then later met her current boyfriend. And so she had just gotten off from her duties, and she was taking a bath, and that's when he called her. He was like, "Do you want to hang out tonight?" And she was like, "Yeah, sure. I'll go on a run, and then handle some more stuff, and then I'll be over later." And so she goes on a run, and what do you know? She sees her mate being bullied by her betas, who happen to be twins. And so it was about to kill him, man. So in this world, it's also against the law to help an omega unless their mate was of higher rank, which I think is stupid. But even then, on top of that, most omegas were either rejected or killed when they met their mate, for a reason that I never got far enough to have explained. But she decided not to reject him, not to kill him. But he had already suffered so much, and it was severely underweight. But I never got far enough to see him get better. So the furthest I got was they were in the hospital examining his wounds, which is like chapter 2. Oh, the mail lady. They just be coming later and later in the day.
Every time I get a package, they just come whenever they want. Pretty sure she have one.
Like, I remember during school, they would come, she would be at our door around the early 11s, like every time. And now that it's summer, she'd be here 1, 2, 3 o'clock.
Girl.
Okay.
Her feds come get you.
Uh-huh.
I said her feds come get you.
I haven't yawned yet. I wonder if someone's ever had a client that like legit fell asleep during their appointment.
Probably not, because you need you to hold your hand up.
But like, what if they fell asleep like just?
Probably haven't been falling.
Huh?
I said sorry.
But before that.
That's a probably habit of people who be falling asleep, but they can't never stay asleep. Gosh, I would have quit that. This wasn't a almost safety bit.
But yeah, Dad said when he come get me. Then while I'm over there, then we can go visit my grandma. While I'm over, I'm gonna ask her about the birthday presents that she told me. Not birthday presents, the Christmas presents that she told me about. I forgot to do it last time I was there. But hopefully this time I remember, because I'm really curious to see what Auntie Ashley got us. Oh wait, I just realized you got a new drill.
Wow.
I know. Cause it, like, I realized this before, but I didn't pay attention to it. But when you like moved it up, it reminded me of your old one.
I could stop it.
Yeah. I was like, oh.
Yeah, I did not miss that.
Ooh. No lady scared my life away.
Who?
The Mill lady.
Yeah?
Well, this is her first time coming up on the porch. But I forgot she was there. And so when I saw her figure still walking across the porch, I was like, oh my gosh. I did not hear you, Mom.
I said nothing.
Stem toes.
Huh?
Stem toes. books, it's really come to my attention that people are the real monsters here.
Why did you get that from books before you had to find out in real life? Because it's the same.
Yeah. Like, especially when I read the book Shutters. Now, I'm kind of sad it didn't end the way I wanted it to. Like, I wanted it to be like they fall in love. Because that's why I started reading this book. Because I was under the impression that by the end of this, they fall in love. But it didn't happen. It was either she died or she killed them. She ended up killing them. But like, that almost made me cry when I read it the first time. Because what happened was she worked in this, so somehow demons made it to the surface and they started taking over and killing all the humans. So humans moved underground and they had these sectors. And Sector 1, which was the very first one, well, obviously, but it was a failed sector because the demons broke into it and then killed a bunch of more people. But by the time they did that, they'd already had other sectors, so they just moved to those other sectors. And so far, they've been well. And so the only people who legally got to go to the surface were the people who went out and caught demons.
Why'd you blow that over here?
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Under that water. Alright, let me see. Last bit.
Oh, and the ring.
Oh yeah, I'll put a foul.
Thank God I'm so done with this month.
You never be wanting your nails done for real. This is like the fastest I ever go is with you. It's only been just 2 hours now since we did this. Since we started this part anyway. But how long was that first part?
33 minutes.
Not too bad.
And I don't like filing. Especially not the hand filing. Sorry.
Filing the best part. Otherwise, you're gonna have some lumpy looking nails.
Yeah.
Just a no.
I realized that I often confuse time with money. Because I get it confused. 60 minutes is an hour, but I keep getting confused and keep thinking 60 pennies is $1.
My bit rate is low. Got things for this. Yeah. Yeah. I was about to quit for a part for a minute.